Almost a year ago, we got Marvel Studios' What If on Disney Plus, and this was a really fun series. I mean, to be honest, it is probably on the lower side of a ranking of the MCU Disney Plus series, but I still had a lot of fun seeing the concepts of the multiverse explored in this series and just all the different scenarios and ideas of what if this happened, what if that happened, what if this was different. And I thought that was really cool. This was a really interesting series, and of course, also Marvel Studios' first animated series as well. So that was a really cool endeavor for Marvel Studios. And now, of course, on Disney Plus Day in November, we got the announcement of What If Season 2. So this is something that we're looking forward to now, which has been confirmed Season 2 will debut in 2022. So it's coming this year, which is something that doesn't usually happen very often with streaming shows, especially animated streaming shows, is that you get seasons back to back each year. But it's happening. We're getting What If this year. Supposedly, I mean, things can always change, but this is something I'm really excited for. I'm excited to see Marvel Studios' What If Season 2, especially since the writers have confirmed that we're going to be seeing storylines and characters adapted from Phase 4 of the MCU. So that means that we can see characters from the Black Widow movie, and Eternals, and Shang-Chi, and WandaVision, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Hawkeye. We can see all that stuff featured possibly in What If Season 2, which is another really cool thing to be added to this second season. But today we have some details on the second season and supposedly some episode descriptions. Now, this is coming from 4chan, so if you know what 4chan is, you know it is a website where anybody can post anything anonymously. So it is kind of a gamble when it comes to 4chan, because it could be either some random person just making some stuff up, or it could be an actual leaker with inside information leaking us real details anonymously. And so it is, like I said, kind of a gamble, but I always like looking at 4chan posts, whether it's true or not, because it's always cool to see stuff. And sometimes this information is so specific that it's like, all right, this has got to be real. And this is one of those cases, because there's some real specific details for these episodes that I feel like somebody couldn't have just made this stuff up. Like, this is some really cool stuff that gets me really excited for What If Season 2. So I do want to warn you right now, if you don't want to have any prior information about what these episodes are going to be about, what's going to be explored in these episodes, then I am warning you now. I guess spoiler warning. But without further ado, let's go and jump into this and break down some episode descriptions of Marvel Studios' What If Season 2. So first of all, Episode 1. What if Iron Man traveled to Sakaar? This is an episode from the previous season that was postponed due to COVID. So, of course, we actually got a Lego set based off this episode, where Tony Stark, as you can see, travels to Sakaar. You can see that he meets Valkyrie. I don't know if they're going to be fighting or teaming up or whatever. And he also actually builds a Hulkbuster and possibly a race car, though that could just be part of the Lego set, we don't know for sure. But either way, Tony Stark is going to be on Sakaar. Maybe he'll even use the Hulkbuster to take part in the Contest of Champions. We know the Grand Master is going to be in this episode. And most importantly, Gamora will as well, because this post actually mentioned specifically that the only change that they made to the script, because this was shifted to the second season, is that now the Watcher at the beginning of the episode says something like, "You probably were confused why I recruited Gamora, Destroyer of Thanos. Here is the reason." So of course, Gamora, Destroyer of Thanos, was a character we saw in that finale for that big team up of the Guardians of the Multiverse. But we never saw that character prior to that episode. So this episode is going to explain why she's so special and why she deserved to be a member of the Guardians of the Multiverse. And I think that's really cool. And you know, it's nice that they didn't have to change much of the episode and just change that one line, and it works so well. I'm really excited to see this character explored, because she was a really cool character in that finale, so I'm interested to see what her actual backstory is. Destroyer of Thanos, and she's wearing Thanos' armor. That just sounds really cool, and I'm really excited to see that. But then we have What If Episode 2, What if Captain Carter fought the Winter Soldier? So this is going to be a continuation of the post-credit scene of Season 1, where, of course, Captain Carter, she got back to her universe. She's wearing the stealth suit from Captain America the Winter Soldier. You may already be able to see where things are going from here. And then she finds that Steve Rogers is alive and trapped in that Iron Man suit. And now he is going to be becoming the Winter Soldier. So this is a really cool concept to see, not only that Steve Rogers is the Winter Soldier, but also that he has this Iron Man suit. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like he escapes the Iron Man suit and then becomes the Winter Soldier and they just leave that whole Iron Man suit thing behind, or if it's actually going to be a Winter Soldier version of that Iron Man suited Captain America. I think that'd be pretty cool. But this is a really interesting concept. I'm excited to see, obviously, the similarities to that storyline done in Captain America the Winter Soldier, but also the changes to this story as well, done with this version. But then probably the episode I am most excited for, at least from the one described here, Episode 5, What If the Soviets Built the Arc Reactor? So this is where we're going to be seeing Anton Vanko, a character introduced in Iron Man 2. So nice to be seeing that we're going back to some of the earlier MCU movies. And Anton Vanko, of course, was the father of Ivan Vanko, aka Whiplash, the villain of Iron Man 2. So again, nice to see these cool references and harkening back to the earlier movies and the earlier films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So anyway, Anton Vanko is able to rebuild the arc reactor after he's deported to the USSR, which is of course what Russia was called at the time. And so then he uses this technology to build the Crimson Dynamo armor, which is awesome because Crimson Dynamo is a classic Iron Man villain from the comics. And what they did with Whiplash in Iron Man 2 was kind of a combination of Whiplash and Crimson Dynamo. You know, his final suit from the end of Iron Man 2 was kind of Crimson Dynamo, just not red. So it's a character a lot of people have been wanting to see in the MCU, so to see that character in What If and in animation, you know, obviously it's not as cool seeing the character in live action, although there are rumors we may see a version of Crimson Dynamo in the upcoming Armor Wars series, so that'd be pretty cool. But to see Crimson Dynamo in this What If episode, I think it's going to be really cool, and obviously makes sense with Russia and all that stuff. But then we get really interesting. Because of this, we got a Russian Iron Man on the loose. We then send S.H.I.E.L.D. in. So S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming to save the day. They send in Nick Fury, which of course, always great to have some more Sam Jackson as Nick Fury here. But what's even better, he's teaming up with Ant-Man and the Wasp, the original Ant-Man and the Wasp, Hank Pym, and Janet Van Dyne. Now, it just says Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne and Nick Fury go to Siberia to destroy the arc reactor. But I'm assuming they're probably going to suit up as Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that's something really cool. So anyway, they destroy the reactor and bring back the armor schematics for the US. But during the mission, probably my favorite part of this that I'm most excited to see, during the mission, Ant-Man fights the Red Guardian. Of course, the character introduced in the Black Widow movie, played by David Harbour. I remember there were some rumors that David Harbour was going to have a role in What If Season 2. And, you know, since that movie, we've been talking about how, like, it would be cool to see, like, a Red Guardian versus Captain America battle. But Red Guardian versus Ant-Man. Now, this is an interesting one, especially it being the original Ant-Man with Hank Pym. I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be really cool, especially because this will be not the fat, overweight version of Red Guardian in Black Widow, which I love that version of the character, but to see him in his prime when he's all muscly and, you know, freshly done with the super soldier serum, that's going to be really, really interesting to see and something I really can't wait to see. But finally, we have episode 7's description, What If Wanda Used to Watch Musicals? So this is going to be a take on WandaVision, but it's kind of just a fun episode done in the WandaVision style, but instead of it being sitcoms, that she's created this whole alternate, self-contained reality, home, perfect life with. It's not sitcoms, this time it's going to be musicals, so we're going to be having like Easter eggs of several musicals. They mention Les Miserables, I don't even know how to pronounce that, The Lion King, The Phantom of the Opera, even Cats. I wouldn't be surprised if they do Hamilton, just because, you know, Hamilton is on Disney Plus and it's, I think, at least connected to Disney. So I think this would be cool, especially if they did something like High School Musical. That would be actually hilarious. But like I said, it's just a fun episode, so it's not like it's anything crazy, not like we're going to be getting some crazy MCU cameos, unless we get some really interesting stuff like seeing some more Evan Peters, Pietro or whatever. That could be cool. White Vision in here. That would actually be hilarious if you have characters like Vision and Scarlet Witch like actually singing and like doing musicals and stuff. I mean, Agatha Harkness, she started it off with Agatha all along. Might as well just continue the trend with some more music and singing in WandaVision. I mean, why not? I think that's going to be, like I said, just a fun episode, but it is a fun episode. This sounds like a really cool, fun concept that I'm excited to see play out in the second season. But anyways, guys, like I said, that was the final episode that was listed here. The season is going to consist of 8 episodes and be more of an anthology than season 1. So don't expect a big team up at the end like we got with season 1, which I'm fine with. I really enjoyed that team up, but I think it works probably better as an anthology series for What If. So I'm liking this. I'm really liking what I'm seeing because, you know, when it comes to What If, like I said, I enjoyed season 1, but I didn't really know what to expect with season 2, so I didn't really have that much hype. But after seeing some of these details, seeing things like Red Guardian versus Ant-Man, bringing in the Crimson Dynamo, Steve Rogers, Winter Soldier, Gamora, Destroyer of Thanos, and finally, of course, WandaVision, but with musicals. There's some really fun concepts that I'm excited to see explored in this season. But for now, guys, you can let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. What do you think about these episode descriptions, or at least possible episode descriptions, for Marvel Studios' What If Season 2, and what else do you want to see in this series? So, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.